How's it going, everyone? Got a little bit of time before work, so I figured I'd do a podcast. Um, should be long enough, hopefully, knock on wood, to be a full podcast, at least hit the 30-minute mark. If not, I might stitch something in who knows. I told you guys the last video what I've been doing. So, Abe Williams, your host here, checking in. The move, man. I'm gonna just kind of give you guys an update. Story time. Hopefully you guys haven't been minding that I've been doing story time here lately. Let's see what's going on. Here we go. Sorry for the dead air. Dude, this move has been fucking nuts. So, what's today? Today's Saturday. Tuesday morning, I work third shift. I'm a night shift stalker at Kroger. I've told you guys this. So I get off work after a full 8-hour shift, 8.5, because I work 11 to 7:30. They force us to take a 30-minute break, which is retarded. I hate it. Because honestly, dude, you feel worse after the 30-minute break. Like, before, I was eating on the clock, and I would just eat while I work, and just take my 15s. And now they did it in the past of, like, they forced us to take a 30-minute break, and like, you feel worse because you're, like, sitting down for a half hour, you're eating, and then, like, you come back, like, all full and sleepy. I don't know if you guys have that same problem. I don't know. I could be pre-diabetic too, though. I know my little brother, he's, I think it's called hypoglycemic or something. He got diagnosed with that to where he's pre-diabetic, which, thankfully, keep him in your prayers, man, because, he's completely sober last time I checked. And as far as I know, he hasn't, like, relapsed or nothing, which is good. He's like me. If anyone who's a long-time listener knows that I struggle with alcohol. He struggles with alcohol. Like, I would say, if not as bad as me, probably maybe even a little worse, And I know he dabbled in a lot of shit too, though. Like, he was big on hallucinogenics, like mushrooms, and I don't know. I ain't gonna lie. Like, he probably surpassed me in the different types and amounts of drugs that I've done. And I know in my past I used to be a big druggie, and I'm pretty sure he probably took the crown. I know I could outdrink him any day, though. But yeah, he was having pancreas issues. I think he had, like, pancreatitis or something. And they told him, like, dude, no drinking or you will die. And so he hasn't had a drop for, like, probably like a month or something. He probably has gotten his 30-day chip. Speaking of drugs, I'm trying this out. L-theanine. It's supposed to be a mood stabilizer, a Xanax replacement, over-the-counter natural replacement of mood stabilization. It's got an amino acid found in green tea, relaxing agent. I actually, I tried it yesterday for the first time. I told you guys I've been trying ashwagandha. Now, I felt like when I was doing ashwagandha, like, it almost reminded me of like a hint of ginkgo biloba. I don't know if you all have taken ginkgo biloba, but I used to take it when I was bartending because it like hyper focuses you, and it's awesome for memory. And where I'm a burnout, like I said, where I have done so many drugs, like ginkgo biloba is amazing for people with brain cells that are too spread apart and you're lacking, or just destroyed brain cells. It helps keep you focused and memory and keeps you sharp. The only thing I have to say about ginkgo biloba though is if you take it, drink tons of fucking water, because dude, when I first started taking it, no one fucking warned me. And at the time in my life, I was drinking a lot of alcohol. And dude, when I pissed, it looked like straight up antifreeze. It was bright fucking green, like neon green. It looked radioactive, and I was like, oh my god, I'm dying, you know? And I pulled my buddy aside who had turned me on to the stuff. And I was like, dude, like man to man, I need to talk to you. And he's like, what's going on? And I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, I think there's something wrong with me. I said, I went pee and it was like neon green, like glow in the dark green. And he's like, he just started laughing. He said, yeah, that's ginkgo biloba, dude. He said, what milligram did you get? I said, the highest. And he started laughing. I said, what, am I going to die or something? He's like, no, dude, you ain't going to die. He's like, that's funny, you picked the highest, though. I said, dude, I picked the highest milligram on everything. This is 200 milligram. Like, I just do. Like, anytime I go and start a new drug or something, over the counter or whatever, I pick the highest milligram. I'm like, dude, I ain't wasting my time. I'm gonna get this shit done right, you know? I don't know if that's just like an old druggy mentality, you know? But, he's like, no, you're good. You just gotta drink more water. And I was like, oh, okay. But I feel like that ashwagandha is like a touch of ginkgo biloba. I'm not saying that it's in it. I'm saying it feels like ginkgo biloba. Like you're under the influence of ginkgo biloba. Another thing, dude, I've been wanting to do this for a minute on how I feel about ashwagandha. Like, it definitely stabilizes your mood. It makes you happier, makes you feel more sane. Like, I think I've told you all that I got diagnosed with, like, MDD. And they put me on schizophrenia medication. They never said I was schizophrenic, but they put me on it, like, just in case. And they said, pretty much, my therapist said at the time, she's an awesome therapist. She said basically that your diagnosis can change, you know, that right now she's like, for a fact, you have MDD. And I do not quite remember if she said I have PTSD. I'd have to ask my wife, because she did do a test to see if I have PTSD. But she said for a fact, like, she diagnosed me with MDD, and I guess I had been diagnosed with, or no, that's right. I had a psychologist, this Asian guy named Dr. Shi. I'm not big on the dude. And I'll tell you why. Like, he, I guess, diagnosed me with MDD and never even fucking told me. And I don't know, I just feel like he's like very in and out, just doing it for the cash of like, get him in, get him out. and prescribe them drugs. He's like a drug dealer, you know, just because he diagnosed me with MDD and didn't even tell me. It's major depressive disorder or massive depressive disorder, something along those lines. Manic depressive disorder, something. I can't remember. But he had diagnosed me, not even told me. And then I had this issue with him before, where I have a tic. And it kind of bothers me, man, because, like, if you don't know me and you don't know that I have a tic, for one, I have super long eyelashes. I don't know if you can see. And they get tangled and they fall out and I pull them, and I just feel like my eyelids and stuff get stuck, and it's like a nervous tic. So I blink a lot. I don't know, I just tic. And it bothers me, man, because people in the comments all the time, like, they make fun of me for it, and they say, oh, you're on crack or you're on meth. And it's like, no, I have a fucking tic, you know. And I've had issues with it with employers thinking I'm on drugs and shit. Like, I had this boss one time, he was an asshole, and like, one of my tics is like, you close your eyes like super hard, you know. That, and I wink a lot. It's my eyeballs, man. I always feel like I gotta, like, correct the eyelids and shit. Anyone who has a tic can you know, sympathize with me. But I had this employer, man. I was working at McDonald's. It was like my third job, and I was like 18, 19, and I was on front line and I was twitching out. And we were supposed to have some, like, higher ups come in that day, and he's like, Abe, come here. And so I walked over, I'm like, what's up? And he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, you're going. And I'm like, yeah, I have a tic. Like, I've had a tic. And he's like, you're not on drugs. And I'm like, no, dude, I have a fucking tic. Like, you hired me. I've been working here for like a year. You know I have a tic. You never noticed it. And he's like, well, can you not do that? I just said, are you kidding me, dude? Can I not do that? That's like asking, I mean, it's a tic, dude. It's like a disability. You think that I want to walk around going, I mean, shit, dude. It's just, it pissed me off so fucking bad, dude. It's like, you think I want to be this way? That'd be like asking, like, someone in a wheelchair, like, hey, can you just walk? Like, the big bosses are coming. Like, just stand up and walk, dude. Stop being ridiculous, man. Like, it's a fucking disability. But Dr. Shi, my psychologist, we were over a voice video call, a Zoom meeting, and he was like, Abe, what's going on? And I was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, do you know that you keep going? I said, yeah, I have a tic. And he's like, oh, I just didn't know if you knew you were doing that. And I was like, yeah, I've been doing it since I was a little kid, you know. My sister-in-law, her father, before he died, used to call us beaten dogs. Because not all of us, my oldest brother doesn't have a tic. He's the only one who does not have a tic. But me and my other two brothers all got tics. And Nick, I accidentally said her name. Okay, I already said it. I didn't say the full name, but Nick, I call her Nick anyway, so Nick her father had noticed, sorry, brother, I didn't mean to, that we have ticks and stuff, and he got in the car. I guess they were visiting for some reason. He used to stop by once in a blue moon when we all lived down in Florida. And he said, yeah, those boys are beating dogs. And Nick said, what? And he said, yeah, you can tell their daddy beats on them. They all got ticks and twitch and stuff. And he might be right. He might be onto something, dude. I wasn't insulted by it, you know. That whole flinch reflex. Because I notice I still have it today, man. I flinch and shit. Just ready for the smackdown. But yeah, I don't know. It aggravated me because my wife was like, well, why are you so insulted that Dr. She noticed your tick? He wasn't making fun of you. I said, it wasn't that. That's not what pissed me off. It's like, you're a psychologist. Can you not help me diagnose what is wrong with me? Why do I tick? Because I shouldn't be sitting here. I'm not a professional. I'm not a medical professional. This is not medical advice. YouTube or whatever. Whoever's listening, algorithm, AI. This is not medical advice, but specifically for that reason, like, you're a psychologist. The whole point of having these meetings with you is for you to help me. So, like, if you notice a tick, as a psychologist, I personally would have care for my patient and be like, let's look into that. Do you have a touch of Tourette's? I think we have touches of Tourette's, man, because a lot of people think Tourette's, like, you just automatically walk around going, fuck, shit, goddamn, you know. No, that's not always true. Because I used to be a fan of H3H3 back when they were cool and they used to do skits. And if you watch him, he has, like, almost the same tick. He'll go and, like, roll his hand. And I do that a lot too, which you can't see him because I keep my hands down here, but I roll my hands and my eyes tick. And you know, he went to, like, somebody, like a psychologist or something, or doctor, some form of doctor, and was like, dude, why do I do this? And they said that he has Tourette's, like a touch of it, you know. And I don't know, I didn't think about it until we had gotten off the phone. But at the same time, I was like, why weren't you, as a psychologist, who's my specific appointed psychologist, like, why weren't you more curious and like, hey, let's look into that. Let's fix that. You know, maybe we could put you on something, or maybe we could diagnose it. Maybe it's Tourette's. So I think me and my brothers, I think we all have a touch of Tourette's. But like I said, I'm not a medical professional. I think we all just have a touch of Tourette's. All right. So the move, man. This move was fucking horrible. So I worked my full shift, and I worked third shift. I got home, had a cappuccino, and long story short, dude, I did not eat that day. I did not eat or sleep for like 36 hours or something. And it got to the point, man, my head was fucking swimming, man. We packed up, we rented the U-Haul. It was like about $100, so that put me down some cash. Got some help from an alcoholic friend. I ended up paying him. He did it for free, but I ended up paying him in a Watchmen graphic novel, the complete Watchmen series, in one volume. He liked that, so that was cool. you got to bless others who bless you. You know, I'm a big believer in service work, and he did it out of the kindness of his heart. So I was like, dude, I'm giving you something, you know. And I got this big chest full of comic books. So I gave him Watchmen, which I ain't gonna lie, it kind of hurt me. Oh. Alan Moore, he's a magician. He kind of reminds me of Rick Rubin. He looks like him too. He's a occultist magician who wrote the Watchmen series. But it's okay. I can pick up another one. And I've already read it. I have the movie, and I've seen the movie like multiple times. But he helped us out. And then we had her older brother come and help us out. He brought a dolly. So we moved all the big furniture into the U-Haul. And here lately, man, I'm not gonna lie, I've been getting like premonitions and little signs throughout the day of certain things. And I'll give you a couple examples. Give me just a second, I gotta go pee. But yeah, dude, here lately, man, my intuition has been like, I almost feel like an RPG, like a video game. Like it's been leveling up. And my wife's too, which me and her both have been playing around with tarot again. And I notice back in the past, I have been playing around with, I did tarot for, I'd say about a year straight. And I noticed whenever I would do tarot, not saying it's the cards doing it, but it could be also, it could be either the cards doing it, kind of opening that doorway into that side of life, that spiritual path or whatever. Your intuition, the more you do it, the more you get to the point you ain't even got to pick up the cards. Someone will ask you like, hey, should I do this or should I do that? And it's like a beam of, from the Akashic records, getting beamed to your head of like, give me a second. No, don't do that. Well, why? Just trust me, don't do it. You know. Or you start getting premonitions and stuff. And here lately, man, I just feel like that's been ramped up a little bit. So while we were moving, we got everything packed into about, I'd say it was probably 5 or 6 in the afternoon by the time we got as much as we could as far as like heavy 2-man job stuff into the U-Haul. And I'm like, so what are we doing? I'm asking my wife, what are we doing? And she just starts breaking down. Like, she's like, stop, I'm overwhelmed. I feel like I'm gonna bawl. I'm gonna cry my eyes out, because this has been a horrible situation. Look at the other video / podcast of I'm moving out if you want to know the whole backstory, because I'm not going to rehash it. It was a whole podcast episode within itself. And I'm like, I know, I'm sorry, honey, like, chill out, it's okay. But because of her getting that overwhelming feeling of angst and almost like a mental breakdown, we packed up and was like, all right, we're done. Let's just take all this to the unit and let's get done. And it literally, because that happened at that very moment in time, like, it allowed us the exact amount of time we needed to get everything done. So we take the stuff to the storage unit, unpack it. That was a trip, and that's when my head started fucking swimming, because at that point I had already hit the 24-hour mark of no sleep, no food. Because I didn't want to eat. I don't know about you, but when I'm running and gunning and hustling, I can't eat, man. And I was just wired at that point. You know how you go from tired to wired? And I was just sitting there chugging cappuccinos and just fucking moving and just no time to eat. Let's do this shit. Running on caffeine and nicotine. So we got all the shit to the unit, and moving it in was crazy. Like, my head was swimming. I was just taking orders at that point. Just being a good little soldier. No, I'm not gonna say it because I don't want to start no drama. It's crazy. Nothing bad, just so we got everything moved in. Then this is where it gets fucking nuts too. We get to her mom's house, which is where we're going to live. So basically the deal was we got like a year-old washer and dryer, and we bought it brand new when we moved into our apartment. Or no, it's 4 years old now. And her mom has a washer and dryer that just does not work. Like, the dryer, I'm pretty sure the coil went out on it because it does not dry like it should. And in the washer, I guess, just sucks. And the dryer, at one point, my wife had said it caught on fire, so I was like, yeah, it sounds like it needs replaced. So we're like, look, our washer and dryer, knock on wood, are like fucking awesome. You know, like pretty much brand spanking new. We use it, but we're a family household of 2. Like, we don't do that much laundry, you know. And I'm the type, I'll wear my pants for like several months before washing them. I'm a punk, bruh. So while I'm taking out the old washer and dryer, there's like this old pipe and the steel thing with the nozzle that hooks into the washer, whatever that's called. I'm taking it apart, and it fucking bust. Not the PVC pipe, the actual steel thing itself, because it's so fucking rusted and old. It literally snaps in half. And water is spraying everywhere. And my brother-in-law, he's like helping me. He's like, oh my God, shut off the main water valve. And I'm like, where? And he's like, oh, fuck. So he runs over to the water heater, starts looking for it. He's like, no, it's not over there. I'm like, and by the way, like the whole time this is going on, there's just water just gushing out. The whole floor is getting flooded. And, it turns out it's behind the dryer. And he's like, luckily, man, he's sharp as a tack, because he's like, fuck, behind the dryer, I remember. So I just like yanked the dryer out of the fucking way, jump back there because I'm skinny, turn it off. And we finally got it turned off. But the whole fucking floor is flooded. And I have to explain to my mother-in-law that I just broke her pipe. So we get it off, and he's like, dude, you're in trouble. And I'm like, fuck. My wife walks in. She's like, what the hell's going on in here? I said, well, the floor's flooded. I broke Mom's pipe. And I wasn't sure yet if it was the PVC pipe or not, because he was still tinkering with it. And she just goes, you're in trouble. And I'm like, fuck. So then he's like, wait, it's not that bad. He finally gets the thing off, the steel nozzle attached to the seal. And he's like, okay, it's not that bad, but you're still in trouble. So I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, how do I explain this to her, you know? And luckily, Sammy took one for the team, and after about 5 or 10 minutes of us tinkering around with that shit, she's like, I'll break the news to her. So she just goes in there and she's like, hey Mom, I'm just gonna rip this off like a band-aid. We fucked your shit up, you know? And she's like, fuck, what'd you do? This is broke. Hands it to her. Sorry, I just ate dinner. Some McDonald's. I know, it's gross. She's just cussing and angry. And I walk in, I'm like, look, it's an easy fix. It should be fixed. I'll fix it tomorrow, but we have no water until I get it fixed. Fuck, goddamn, you know. But anyways, next day I go and I get the part and put some rubber sealant tape around the actual pipe and screw it on, or the seal, and then put rubber tape around the actual nozzle, screw it in, works like a dime, turn the water back on, we're all good, baby. Got the new washer and dryer in, and we're moved in. We're still living out of a couple small boxes. We're moved into a little tiny room of where we're living, you know. Give me just a second. But I'm going to wrap it up here for you all. So basically, we're moved into a trailer. We're living in a tiny room. It's got a bathroom connected to it. So it's almost it's decent. We've lived there before. We've done it before. So now that I'm living there, it's rent free, so I can stack chips. Sammy wants a new place, but her mom actually, past couple days, has told us it's her mom's house that she's gonna move to like a apartment somewhere and leave it to us. And dude, I cannot tell you how much of a relief and a blessing this is to us, because since I was 18 years old, I told you all the story of leaving the house with a suitcase with my ex-wife. We've been pikeys, man. We've been gypsies since 18 years old. I've just been running and gunning, trying to make it, moving here, moving there, couch surfing sometimes, having houses sometimes. I have never owned a house, you know. And the trailer it is, you know, I'm thankful. I'm not bashing it. It's pretty fucking worn out. I think I've told you guys stories of Herman the German's house where I lived for 3 years. It's about the same condition as that. It's pretty fucking rough. But I cannot tell you how relieved I am that one day it's going to be mine and it's just going to be signed over. To know that, like, this is my house, I own it, you cannot take this away from me. As long as I pay the property land tax, which I'm not going to stop working or nothing. But it's a huge fucking blessing, man. And that's where we're at. We're living in a trailer that I lived in like several years ago, like half a decade ago now. I can't believe it's been that long, dude. I feel like it was just yesterday I was filming in the same trailer, making videos about Secure Team and when COVID first hit and shit. And now it's like, that was like half a decade ago. And I'm back right where a lot of you guys jumped on board, you know. But I'm back there, the same room and everything. Except now, life is a little different, and I got a house. So, I guess I'll wrap it up there. It's a blessing in disguise. It's awesome. I planned on getting into conspiracies and shit, but this is already 35 minutes, so I think I'll finish it off there and just leave the episode on my personal life story. It's kind of a blue pill podcast episode of like what's been going on, how the move went, and yeah. Thank you all for checking in. I hope you enjoyed. I hope I didn't bore you. Hopefully, leave a like, share, subscribe, whatever. Maybe next episode we'll get into conspiracies and shit. But it doesn't hurt for you guys to get to know me and shit. And for me to just tell life stories instead of just all conspiracy all the time, you know. Here lately, I've been trying to let you guys see the personal side of me and tell personal stories and life stories and shit along with conspiracies. And I hope you like this new style of podcasting to where you get to know me better instead of me just spouting off straightforward conspiracy and you guys don't feel like you know me at all. So love y'all. God bless. Hope y'all are doing well. If not, it will get better. Y'all have a good day.